Hey everyone, welcome to Alpha Insights. I'm Asha, and with me is Lucy. And hey, if you have questions while you're listening, drop them at stockalpha.ai.
Hi all, I'm Lucy. We've got a quick sector wrap for the cannabis space, regulatory moves, company health, and a clinical study that caught our eye.
Quick housekeeping first. US markets are closed today. The last trading day was Friday, March 20th, and the next session is Monday, March 23rd. So think of this as prep for next week, not instant market reaction.
Right. We can talk about the policy and data headlines you should digest heading into the long weekend and beyond.
Let's start with state policy. Nebraska's legislature passed protections for doctors who recommend medical cannabis. It was a 30-7 vote, which could make clinicians more comfortable recommending treatment and expand patient access over time.
And that fits a broader trend of incremental medical access at the state level. But it's not all one-way progress.
Ohio, for example, just saw tougher rules kick in after a referendum drive failed, creating new criminal charges around certain hemp and THC products. That raises compliance risk for regulated operators and, analysts warn, could push some consumers to the illicit market.
Yeah, that's a good point. Those kinds of shifts can quickly change the dynamics on the ground. Enforcement, supply, pricing, and not always in ways that help licensed retailers.
Then there's Idaho. Campaigners say they exceeded the statewide signature threshold for a medical cannabis initiative, though signatures still need validation and regional distribution rules have to be met. If that clears, you could see a new medical market opening in the Mountain West.
Which is why these ballot mechanics matter. It's not just a headline, it's a potential pipeline for patients and future licenses.
Switching to company fundamentals. New Cannabis Ventures tracker shows public cannabis companies finished last year with weaker financial positions. Liquidity and margin pressure are still real issues.
I mean, when you look at the data, it suggests many operators will be watching cash burn, considering cost cuts, or exploring strategic transactions to shore up balance sheets.
Honestly, I was a bit surprised by this one. The narrative of recovery is out there, but the numbers show it's uneven. Some names are stable, others are still stressed.
Quick consumer cue. Canadian retail cannabis sales started 2026, with January at 466.1 million Canadian dollars, which was down about 8.5% from December. That sequential dip is worth watching alongside provincial comp trends.
And on the clinical front, a Johns Hopkins psilocybin trial found treated smokers were about 6 times more likely to quit compared with nicotine patch controls. It's an intriguing clinical signal for psychedelics in therapeutic use, but replication and regulatory pathways will determine commercial impact.
Exactly. Promising early science, but not a direct commercial headline yet. Follow-up trials and approvals are the real gating items.
So, the real question here is, what should listeners watch next week? Earnings and guidance are front and center. Expect commentary on cash flow, capital raises, and cost reduction plans.
And policy timelines, signature verification in Idaho, any implementation steps out of Nebraska, and how Ohio enforces its new restrictions. Those are likely catalysts.
Also keep an eye on the sector favorites. The pure US cannabis ETF, Trulieve, Green Thumb Industries, Curaleaf, and Tilray, since names like these often lead reactions to policy and earnings updates.
Interesting.
Right.
Bottom line, mixed headlines this week. State-level wins in places like Nebraska and possible ballot momentum in Idaho are balanced by tougher rules in Ohio and ongoing corporate financial strain heading into 2026.
Key takeaways. Watch upcoming earnings for balance sheet moves, follow Idaho signature verification and Nebraska implementation, and track enforcement in Ohio and retail trends in Canada.
And a quick reminder, this discussion is for informational purposes only, not investment advice. Analysts note these factors, and the data suggests caution and selective scrutiny when researching names.
Got questions? We'd love to hear from you. Head over to stockalpha.ai, where you can ask us anything, and we'll answer live. And while you're there, check out more market content.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back with updates when trading resumes Monday. Stay curious, and we'll see you next time.